We saw 3 rookie debuts. Caleb Williams, Jayden Daniels, Bo Nix. Neither goes for over 200 yards. All 3 struggle to get anything going down the football field. What did you see from these guys? Anything to be encouraged about? And what do you think of rookie quarterbacks starting day one and how tough it is for them?
Well, I mean, it's challenging, coming in and I said this yesterday on our show. I think the biggest challenge is adjusting to the pass rush. Like that's the hardest part of playing quarterback in the National Football League, going from college football to the NFL, is the pass rush is so much better. It's just so much faster. The blitz packages, the detail that you have to have in protection, how fast those guys get on you, how quickly the ball has to come out. That's just a hard thing to replicate, and there's nothing like going out there and playing. I will say this. I think there's positives you can pull from each of them. You start in Chicago, right? Caleb, I was actually a little surprised at how he played. I thought kind of seeing him in training camp, I thought he would come out, maybe not, tear it up and light the field on fire, but I thought he would play, efficient, get the ball out, make some plays. He looked a little scattered, a little bit all over the place. But the good thing, the positive, if you're a Chicago fan watching this, they won the football game, right? Like the defense showed up, the special teams made plays. And I think in the back of his head, he can now sit there and say, okay, I don't have to be a Heisman Trophy winner type player every time I step on the field, right? I can go be efficient, distribute the football, get the ball out of my hand, make good decisions. When I extend plays, if it's there, take it. If it's not, ditch it. They can win football games that way. And then I look in Denver and Bo Nix, and I thought early on he was kind of seeing a lot of different things. A really hard matchup going against Mike McDonald, new head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. He comes in from Baltimore, a place where they've played incredible defense for, the last seems like 30 years, right? And he's been a part of that and kind of understands how to get after quarterbacks. And I thought, the Seattle Seahawks put together a nice plan to kind of disrupt his rhythm. The one thing I'm encouraged with of Bo Nix, though, he hung tough, right? And I think that shows to your teammates. You prove the toughness that you're going to continue to get up. You're going to continue to fight. With 3 minutes left in that game, he has them down 6, right? He's given them a chance. No matter how poorly he's played, no matter how much he's turned the football over, he's kept them in that football game. Credit to the other parts of the team as well, but he hung tough. So I think that's a really positive thing for him. And then finally, Jayden Daniels. I actually think he played the best of the 3. Efficient. I think he was 19 to 24, something like that. He was efficient getting the ball out of his hand. Didn't hit really anything down the field, but he had 80-some yards rushing too. And so to me, although it comes in a loss, I think he's playing with the supporting cast that needs to be improved. I think the Commanders are trying to build that roster. I think it's going to take a little bit of time. But watching him out there and what he did, he probably looked the most comfortable of the 3 to me.
Yeah, Matt, I will echo the last sentiment you just talked about, Jayden Daniels, the comfort level. He just looked like a guy that it wasn't like his britches didn't fit him when he was out there. But the Caleb Williams thing, I'll go back to this. Caleb Williams, obviously so much anticipation in Chicago about this guy, the chosen one, all this talk in Chicago. As good as you may be about compartmentalizing your mental and separating church and state, there's no way that you can ignore this stuff. So for Caleb Williams, we saw some of the balls sail early. The guy was juiced. He was ready to play. The issues that scared me a lot about the Chicago Bears game was the fact that they could not protect him in the middle of the football field. And as you know, when you're seeing things in front of your feet as a quarterback, your clock gets accelerated, your confidence can dip a little bit. And I saw that all too often with Chicago, whether it was on defensive line pressures or late ads from linebackers. They couldn't pick it up. They didn't handle it well enough, in my opinion. But to your point, they did win the football game, so that was good.
I think the thing to remember here is the context. These are rookie quarterbacks in their very first NFL start. It's a little different from when you were coming out, Matt, your very first NFL start. You dropped back to pass 13 times. Only had 13 attempts in that game. These guys are now asked to pass at a high level against complex defenses and asked to be ready right away. And outside of C.J. Stroud the last 4 years, there hasn't been a guy. There hasn't been a guy who's ready to hit the ground running at the NFL level. So I think giving these guys some grace. If you're a fan of one of these teams, is what I would suggest. It takes time at the NFL level.
Boys, in my first start, we had 318 yards rushing.
Hell
318 yards rushing, right? Like, I didn't do anything. I hit one pass, basically, that was nice. And
yeah. Game was over in an hour and a half.
100%, just checking it down. Yeah, so, yeah, you need all of that stuff. Kyle, to just hit on your one point with the expectations for Caleb, you'd certainly feel that as a player, right? You feel the weight of everything that's coming in, and you try and compartmentalize it the best you can. But you want to go out there, and he wants to make these plays he's made his entire life, these crazy, splash plays down the field. I think the good thing with them winning that ball game, particularly with the way that he played, is like there's a weight maybe that's lifted of, I don't have to do all that all the time. The ball can just come out. It can just go to the flat. I can just check it down. I can get to one in the progression, hit something over whatever it is. I think that weight gets lifted when you realize.
You don't have to be Superman.
Correct. You don't have to be everything all the time. You just have to be a part of it.
100%.